My Suburban has a big problem. One brake light on the Suburban doesn't work consistently. Both turn signals work consistently 100% of the time. There's a test for this. If you wiggle the turn signal stem a little bit like that and your brake lights start working, this is the culprit and you need to change it out, which I've already done. So let's go over how I got here. Don't want the horn blasting while I'm doing this, so we'll remove our super custom steering wheel straight from 1989. Zelda clip, spark plug socket. Now, if you have a normal steering wheel, all you have to do is pop the horn off. There's usually a thing for the horn here, which mine is missing. Then you need one of these guys. It is a steering wheel puller. It will come with the appropriate bolts, hypothetically, for you to use on your steering wheel. You just screw them in as far as you can thread them in so it's nice and secure, and then you tighten this bolt down. You'll need one of these compressor things. Don't know what it's called. And then prepare for the battle of your life as you take off the most annoying snap ring ever. Once you get the snap ring off, this piece comes off. Your horn contact comes off. Disconnect our turn signal here. And this piece does come out. Just like that. So I recommend putting this down. You can get a screwdriver in each of those places. Now you'll see that the wires run down the length of the column. So in order to get those out, we'll have to drop the column here. On my TBI, there's this little guy. If it's in your way, you can simply pull back and it'll drop down for you. And then up under here are two bolts you'll have to take out. On this particular year, it's a 15mm on each side. You'll need to remove these bolts on each side. So there's two here and two here. These are 13mm. And once those are out, our bracket drops down. When you're disconnecting this guy here goes up. Now I'm obviously having issues with my plug, and that's probably why I had issues to begin with. And we're just gonna vasectomy this whole thing. That last yellow wire. And like that, there we go. And now we pray that this is the correct one of these. And we send it all the way down in there. So we'll want this to be this way. And we'll just kind of booger that down there. Now if you have a tilt steering wheel like I do, you're gonna have to tilt it down to get the whole assembly through there. This is about where I had it, and it went in there real nice. I just happen to have a long piece of steel, and that really made pushing that thing down there easy. So now we're good here. We can simply flip this over and attach it, and then reattach this to our big plug up here. And so naturally, this can only go in one way, which is that way, and we can kind of just gently push that up in there, and then it just kind of rests in this little, you'll see it once you get in here, but it rests on that, and then you just reverse everything, put everything back. Now we just put this bracket back on here, and that is the 4 bolts on the column and the 2 big bolts that hold it up into the dash. Screw number 1, screw number 2, screw number 3. Screw the hazard light one in. We'll very gently finagle this in here. It goes up in there. And then up we go here. And then we screw that in. So that's tight. Our hazards work, theoretically. Don't forget to slap this little guy back on there. So now we got this guy back on here. We'll put this guy back on here. Making sure that we align it properly. Now we have to push this back down and put the clip from hell back on here. But before we do that, we're going to give this thing a test because I really don't want to have to take this one off again. Let's turn our turn signals on, make sure they work. Okay, that one's good. Right turn signal. And brakes. And then I'm gonna cycle through turn signal, brake, and just make sure this is gonna work consistently 100% of the time. All right, it works consistently 100% of the time so far. So now we can put all this back together and hit the road. Got that guy back on there. Got this guy back on there. This one's keyed. So that'll go there. Put our miserable little f***ing thing there. Alright, there we go. That's in. We can now release the hounds. We had our little plastic cover, which snaps right into place there. Make sure that when you put this back on, that hole goes there where your horn is. So pop that guy on there and then tighten the absolute shit out of it. Put the Zelda clip back on. And that's it. That's all there is to it. This solved my problem. Maybe it'll solve yours. As usual, I'll put Amazon links to this turn signal switch cam assembly thing. I'll also put both steering wheel tools that I used in the description below as well. But anyway, that's all I got. So, as usual, you be good while I'm gone, and I'll see you next time. Have a good week.